Okay, guys, starting again. My audio wasn't on, so it's my fault. So today we're talking about wholesaling real estate and how to keep it simple. And what I was babbling about earlier is I find so many people are not understanding the basic mechanics of wholesaling. So many people like go so deep in the course and they get so deep in the comping and the assignment of contract. I'm going to talk simply about how to keep it simple, especially if you're getting started in wholesaling, because I find that's the biggest thing tripping everybody up. So I apologize for the mic there. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Um, so guys, you can put comments, questions in the chat box there. Let me know where you're from. As I said, Thursday, Friday nights, it's really hard to answer everyone's questions. So I'm wide open. So if you want to do a one-on-one live, it's 100% free. You don't even have to share your video. You'll see right there, there's a link. It's pinned to the very tippy top. If you want to join me, click on that. And I take everybody as they schedule, as they come in. And the reason we're doing this stream is so you guys get to know me a little bit better. And number two, so me and Zach can reach out and help out as many people as humanly possible. So that's it, man. So let me jump right into it. So you ever hear the saying, keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method? Hey guys, I've been wholesaling, I'm going on 20 years plus, and I'm going to give you the two biggest mistakes I've seen in wholesaling. And if you can correct these and nip them in the bud in the beginning, you can do some amazing things. But it's not nearly as complicated as you guys think it is. And that's the problem. It's some people want to think it's like a 9-week boot camp course. I'm here to tell you, within 30 days, you can be up and running fully wholesaling real estate. Here's the ones that do the best and the ones that get it. Okay. Give me somebody with absolutely no experience in real estate, and I guarantee you I can make them a super successful wholesaler. The problem is a lot of you guys have some real estate experience, maybe buying your own home, maybe buying an investment property or rental property, and you're trying to take that world and put it in the wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, it's not going to work. It just doesn't work that way. So let's go over the number one problem in wholesaling. And guys, let's see, make sure. Okay, you guys can hear me. Cool. The biggest problem, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Yeah, cool. You ready for the biggest problem? Actually, if you want to comment and tell me what you guys think the biggest problem is, and let's make this a learning exercise. I don't have a big monologue in the beginning here. I'm going to point out two of the biggest problems, and then I want to help someone. I want to help them. I want to help you guys out in wholesaling. So, as I said, I do this Monday, so I give everybody 100% chance to come on and talk to me live. So I won't bite you. There's no bad question. I don't even care if you want to deal. If you want to talk to me, go ahead and get in line in there, and let's get this going. So you ready for this? So I said, give me somebody with no experience. They typically do better because they don't have any preconceived notions about real estate. So the number one problem, you ready for this, is you have to solely take your first shot at wholesaling. It's all about qualifying your sellers for motivation. That's it. If you do that first and you spend the most time on that, the rest is super, super easy in wholesaling. But here's the problem. So many of you guys are going about it backwards. You know why? Because you guys are spending ridiculous amounts of time comping properties. Let me let you in a little secret. I spend very, 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 very little time comping properties in wholesaling. If you do wholesaling correctly, you should not be spending 45 minutes, hours on end, days on end doing a comp. What I found, and this is through my personal experience and a ton of people I've worked with, the more time you spend comping usually means you're overpaying for the property. Bottom line. So whenever I get in with you guys on the one-on-one, I start talking deeply with you. I always go, hey, what's the motivation? And I can tell they don't know what it is because they've spent so much time comping the property. So here's the little secret. Spend as much time as you can qualifying your prospect for motivation, and wholesaling is super easy. If you want to go at it like a realtor, or you want to be analysis paralysis and you want to comp the property before you talk to them, you're literally wasting your time and you're going to burn out. So give me 100 leads. And guys, that's a lot. You get 100 leads, it's like, woo. So give me 100 leads. The problem is maybe 5 or 6 out of those have any type of motivation. But the problem is you guys are spending 95% of your time with the people that aren't motivated, and you're trying to figure out a price that's going to make it work. The reality is you're operating like a realtor and you're looking to make an educated offer, and it doesn't work that way. It's actually the complete opposite. So here's my tip for you. The keep it simple, stupid method of wholesaling. You ready for this? Qualify your prospects before you do anything else. Don't even comp the property. You can make an offer anytime on a property, but the odds are if there's not motivation there with your seller, you're probably going to be wasting your time. Okay. Now, remember, guys, we are wholesalers. We are not fix and flippers. We are not the buy and hold guys. You have the options to do all that if you decide to do that. But in wholesaling, we look for distressed properties from motivated sellers. So if you're not buying from a motivated seller, either the property's distressed or the homeowner's distressed, or ideally both they are, you are not wholesaling. And that's the biggest problem I see in wholesaling. Everyone's trying to, so the reality is this is not traditional real estate, and we got to stop treating it like traditional real estate. Wholesalers are a unique set of people that go out there and find motivated sellers. That is your skill set. That's why you're paid so much money if you do this right, and that's where you want to be. If you want to be an order taker, go on MLS. Listen, I know people get deals off of MLS, but the reality is they won't tell you they're writing thousands of contracts to get just a few deals. So we do it in reverse order. We want to find, in wholesaling, we want to find properties that are off market and that have motivated sellers. Okay, why? Because we are hunting for the advantage. When the property is not on the market, that means you have little to no competition, which is fair game because we spend time, money, and effort on marketing for them. And number two, that's how you get a good deal in wholesaling. If I just want to go out and buy a regular property, I'll just go with the MLS. I'll look on Zillow. We can all do that. And I implore you to understand the reason why you want off-market properties is because you have the advantage. It just like, it's not cheating. It's just the truth. They don't want to put it on the market for, either because of the property or the financial situation. The reality is on market properties, when they initially hit the market, there is absolutely zero advantage. It's an open market. And unless it sits 3 months, you have no shot at getting a good deal on it. Think about it. And so somehow we've come in wholesaling where we're like, let's go on MLS and find wholesaling deals. Okay, you can do that, but I'm just telling you, in particular types of market, that is the very hardest way to do wholesaling. And if you guys are going to chase on-market properties, they are challenging, other than the FSBOs and stuff like that. If it's on MLS, I hate buying properties on MLS for wholesaling. I don't want to write 1,000 contracts to get one deal. And that's what people are doing. Why? Because every time I put one of my properties on MLS, I literally get like 25 garbage contracts. Guys, I don't even look at them. Like, we shred them. We don't even care. So, guys, that's it. That's my monster tip. And I'm here to tell you is my old school way of doing this. And this is how I was taught. If I have to break out a calculator, I'm probably paying too much for the wholesale deal. So if you guys can remember that little tip, I'm telling you, off-market properties, seek motivation first and use your time wisely. If there's no motivation and the properties on market, do not go through the rest of your spiel because you're wasting your time. You need to take your energy and go find off-market properties and motivated sellers. That's where the money is. And guys, you only need one or two. This isn't like regular real estate where you're trying to buy 20 or 30 properties. Okay. And all of these gurus go out and spend you like, I buy 15 or 20 every month. Just don't buy into it. You have no idea of verifying what they do. You have no idea what their cost structure is. You have no idea how much money they're making. They could technically be losing money. Did you know a lot of gurus just do real estate, specifically wholesaling? I can't get that to work. And let me fix this. They do wholesaling and they make a tiny bit of money because remember, a lot of these operations have 2, 3, and 4 partners, and they brag about like doing millions of dollars. Well, by the time they get down to their net, like what they pay for their offices, their staff, all the employees to call, the cold calling, the PPC, guys, this stuff's expensive. So if you ever want to know what they do, ask them what their net is. And if you ask them what their net is, ask for a financial disclosure sheet because if they're going to spit it out all the time, did you know a lot of them operate at break even or a slight profit or even a loss so they can run an incredible coaching program? It's just the truth. Don't ask me how I know this. I'm just telling you, it is factual out there. So, guys, I am here. I'm going to be here as long as I can answer questions. I'm going to go into the chat, start answering questions. And then anybody wants to jump on a live, man, I've got time. So take advantage of it, guys. The idea was for me and Zach to open up other avenues so we can help as many people as possible. I will help as long as people want my help. So Olivia says, Olivia, I appreciate you. She always follows us on the channel. So not talking to announce motivated tellers. I'm cool. Not taking any action. Guys, I'm telling you, when you're talking with a motivated seller and there's no motivation there, it's a painful conversation because all they do is focus on how much they can get for the property and you're not going to get anywhere. So here's a little tip. The minute they start telling you how nice this home is, the house, oh, it's got a nice white picket fence, Rick. It's beautiful. It's just perfect. It's got crown molding. I just go like this. Well, why are you even interested in selling it? And then I'll seek one final piece of motivation. If I can't get it there, I just move on. So ideally, if you guys are getting the right lists, if you're using List REI or whatever it is, or using mostly government lists, you should be getting in the right target zone. So you have to ask these questions because they're already on this list. So there's a high probability there's something going on in their life. You just have to connect with them, build rapport, and identify what's going on with them. So, guys, it's important to do that. Awesome. I got somebody looking forward to talk to us on our team about a JV deal, guys. Guys, if you want to do JVs, let me see. You guys know how to do it. I put the link on here. I don't do it as much on my channel because I don't. You can do JV with me. And so here's the criteria for a deal. You got to have a contract direct with the seller. And I really strongly advise you go to freewholesaling.com and just go through it in sequential order. And the idea is if you have a motivated seller and you got a good spread on it, you want to work with someone, we split it 50-50. I think it's the fairest way to do it. And we don't charge you anything up front. But guys, it's got to be a good deal. So I want to get you paid. I don't want to waste time. And we'll give you some feedback if it doesn't fit the parameters. So just make sure you put in there. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And let's see here. If you guys are brand new to my channel, you've never been here before, I will plug this. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach teach an entire course on how to get started wholesaling, actually to make your first $100,000. We don't ask for a credit card. We don't ask for any type of payment. We just ask for a commitment of your time. And in return, we just ask if you can subscribe and smash that like button. So, guys, it's funny because I look at every day of the week kind of like the same. Like, I don't know the real difference between Monday and like Friday or Saturday, but I guess I've been doing wholesaling so long. But that's the goal in life. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about like what day of the week it is and what's going on with it. So, so somebody says, hey, Rick, will you buy my NFT? It's funny because I can bring this up. So I got some time to talk about it. These NFT projects with like real estate, listen, somewhere down the future, there will be a benefit for it. But I'm here to tell you, you're not getting rid of the title companies and you're not getting rid of the county agencies at the courthouse that record these deeds, affidavits, mortgages, because that's what funds a lot of the county taxes. So in my opinion, an NFT, so everyone thinks you're gonna be able to click a button and trade a piece of real estate. And I just don't see that happening for a long time, because you would have to do away with so many government projects. And I don't see the government letting go of that stuff. So I think an NFT might come on top of it for real estate. Now, when you talk about NFT in like the coaching and mentoring shape, guys, like, heed the warning. You're buying a product way down the road. You have no idea if they're ever going to deliver. So whenever you hear the word evergreen, lifetime access, I've yet to see anybody ever live up to that standard. It's a really good sales pitch, right? Like, I'm all in. Give me a lifetime access or evergreen. I'm all in. But what happens is they sell all these companies, and then they go to shift. And remember, they're focused on generating more revenue. And if you're a lifetime customer, you're probably not going to make them any more money. And I promise you will go to the wayside. So, somebody asked, do you provide contracts in freewholesaling.com? Yes, just go in there, check it out, and everything's in there for you. But guys, it's the most thorough course. It goes head to toe. It will go over everything for you. And especially if you've never done a real estate deal, it is a great place to get started. Everything's transparent. We don't hide anything. And the fact that you don't get upsell and we don't charge you on a credit card should gain our trust for you. So I've been doing this 20 years. Zach's been doing it 5 years, and we've been doing that program going on 2 years now. So pull this one up here. Hey, Rick, so you're telling me I will get a $25,000 check to change my family's life at the end of the month if I put in the work? Yeah, here's the unknown variable. Will you put in the work? Because back in 2003 and 4, I took this exact statement and I gave it a shot. And I did it within 90 days of me getting started. I swear I did. And honestly, here's the best part about it. We're talking about keeping it simple today. I really didn't know what I was doing. I learned how to talk to sellers. Basically, I wasn't a slick salesman. And number 2, I identified people's motivation to see if I could move forward with the deal. And I made sure they were off-market properties. Once I did that, it was easy. I did get caught in a trap for a while where I tried to offer on everything on market, off market. And the thing is, when you do on market, it just gets really muddy. You get realtors in there, lawyers, it becomes a mess. And honestly, you're fishing in the open market. So I appreciate the question. I'm not going to guarantee you a $25,000 check. If you put in the work, I promise you there's people on this stream. And if you guys can put in there and let them know that if you put in the work, it's definitely there. I've been doing this 20 years. So if anybody was going to run out of deals, it would have been me. I never run out of deals. They're always in front of me. Why? Because I'm constantly hunting them. I never stop marketing. And I search for motivation first in off-market properties. Now, take me on the MLS. I promise you, there's a million courses sold out there. The reason why it sounds so sexy, because it sounds easy, it's not. Trust me. I do not, on-market properties, they have to be on the market at least 91 days before I'll even consider it. Why? Because I need to show that seller they're going to have pain. There's a problem with the house. And for you to accept my cash offer, you have to be open to working with a wholesaler. When they go to list it, what are they doing? They're working with a realtor. And that's the difference with what they're doing. So, hey, Corey, Corey says he can't find the link. Go to the tippy top. And it's pinned in the comments. Guys, let me know if it works. Somebody click it on there. And what I'll do is I'll put it back up there. Copy. And Corey, I just put it in the comment there. So guys, let's talk, man. It's Monday night. Like, it's a little bit looser on this channel. Zach's not here. And I enjoy it. So I want to connect with more of you, and you guys can get to learn the wholesaling. So my goal is to get as many people started in wholesaling as possible. It's changed my life. massively. It will change yours. You just have to trust me. So there's still no audio. Okay, hold on. Hey, Jamie, can you hear me? Put your thumb up if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Okay. Corey, that link's on there. So jump on there because I know I've missed you the last few times. So let me put one more on here. Juana says, do you think bandit signs are the best way to get motivated sellers first versus door knocking or cold calling? Listen, I like bandit signs. You just got to make sure you can get away with it in your town. So they work. I know people are still getting deals off bandit signs. Every now and then we pulse them in our market, but like I have legality issues in my market because I've abused it. So if you can get away with it, get your first deal, just keep them close to your Walmarts, your Home Depots, like your Lowe's, and make sure the traffic's slow enough where they can see it and make sure it's only 3 lines. That works very well. So I love bandit signs. Guys, people grossly underestimate how powerful bandit signs. Think of how many, if you have a major thorough coming out of Walmart, like one of the major streets, and thousands of cars pass it, I promise you'll get phone calls on it. It's not sexy. That's why people don't ever want to do it. So, Corey, you there?
Yeah, Rick, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Long time no speak.
Yeah, it's been busy, man. How are you?
Good, man. Give me an update there. Guys, I got rid of my coffee because I about ruined a computer with my last coffee spill.
Oh yeah, my daughter, she spilled a can of Dr. Pepper on my keyboard the other day, and I had to replace it.
Yeah, the keys were all like stuck together. So
Yeah, the W, the W was constant stuck, so I couldn't type any contracts or anything.
Yeah, I tried turning it upside down, but I spent like 2 hours. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
It's a mess. It's better to replace.
The good night is on Monday. I'm not drinking coffee, but like before I go to bed. But it's
Yeah.
So what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Business is going good here and everything. I just kind of wanted to see what your opinion on something is, and we're not going to get into the whole demographic on, what is the market going to do? Is it going to crash? What is it going to do? We're not going to get into that. I kind of wanted to see what your opinion is on something I've been seeing a lot more recently with my buyers. When I'm sending these wholesale deals out, I seen what's going on with the market, and I kind of adjusted my prices a little bit that I was sending out to people, and I just kind of baked it into my offer price. But I'm seeing a trend here a lot more lately that it seems like the buyers, on paper, when they run their comps, they might be able to think, say the ARV of this house is 250,000, but they might shave a little bit off of that, to kind of give themselves a little bit. They're leaving themselves a larger safety net than what they were in the previous, year or so. And it seems like they're a little bit more weary right now. And I was just kind of curious, are you guys seeing anything like that in your market with your buyers? Are they, giving themselves that higher spread to, larger safety net type situation?
The answer is yes. The only thing that affects us, like in our market here, anything like 250 and under, dude, it's gone in like an hour.
Yeah.
The problem is that there's very few.
See, that's well below the median price for you, I would guess, 250.
Yeah, we're at like 3.25, 355.
Yeah.
And so it's like once we get to 300, we have to pay attention because they're sitting a lot longer. But I'm here to tell you. So let's talk about the market, why we have this.
Okay.
You hear a lot of information going on. Do you know what a 30-year mortgage rate is today? Anybody?
I don't know what the actual rate is. I just seen that they had bumped it up again a little bit the other day, but I don't know what the current rate is right now.
So just to let you know, the 30-year mortgage is pretty much tied to the 10-year Treasury bill. If you've looked at the Treasury bill for the last 30, 40 days, it's gone down like massively.
Right.
So did you know in the last 3 weeks, mortgage rates have been dropping?
I did see a graph there, I want to say maybe about a week ago, that showed a decline on the rates.
So right now, if you have good credit, like don't get me wrong, like if you have a subpar credit score, it's going to mark it up.
Yeah, you're paying a premium.
5.22 will get you a 30-year mortgage. I'm here to tell you guys, it's not bad.
No.
So the fear and doom and gloom was it was going to go to 7, 8, 9%.
Yeah.
I think that's off the table now. listen, I can't predict what's going to happen. Nobody does.
Right.
I think there's going to be probably one more mild rate increase, and then the Fed's going to have to do a wait and see to see what happens. But here's
Yeah.
what I've learned, though, in my history is when you come to a midterm election, even the Fed doesn't want to rock the boat.
No.
So it's like once we get into September, I think they're going to take their foot off the gas and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I see mortgage rates maybe 5.5. And guys, I'm telling you 5.5% is traditionally a really good mortgage rate. And I don't know. Do I want to see I don't want to see any market crash. I like to see everybody, but the problem is a lot of people have been priced out of real estate and some of the numbers have gotten out of control, but I can tell you here in Florida, it ain't going to change a whole lot. I've let that ship sail because I've tried and tried on properties I really wanted in my portfolio and I still can't get a discount. So here's what I do. When they put them on market, that's a property I want. And when you guys get better at this, you can do this, is I have to let pain set in for them.
Yep.
I have to let it sit on the market 6 months. And then I go back to them. Did you get any offers? They're like, no. I'm like, you want to sit down and do you want to get rid of it or you just want to keep it forever?
Yep.
And those are the conversations I have with people on market properties. But the sentiment is buyers are a little bit more astute. They don't know where things are going. And I mean, I could be wrong. If the only thing that's going to throw this market out of whack, if inflation just keeps climbing like a rocket, then, but like, if you guys follow the stock market, the stock market's been booming the last 30 days. They feel there's two camps here. They feel like the worst is behind us and the Fed is now going to like put their foot off the gas. And then this thing's going to ride through the midterms. And God only knows what happens after that. Yeah. The other one is there's a big school camp thinks like doom and gloom's coming. The stock market's going to drop 40, 50%. And real estate's going to hit the bottom. And somebody's wrong. One of the two are wrong. The problem is for a long, painful real estate thing, you're looking at a 3 to 5 year slide.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, with populations and everything going on, I see adjustments. We're definitely seeing adjustments in smaller markets, but in Florida, there's not a big change. The only thing that's getting affected in Florida is anything $1 million and above. Like they're just sitting. Yeah. So I had one the other day, 1.3. They're like, we'll take 1.1. I'm like, we're so far off the mark. Yeah. I love looking at those. I mean, every one of those guys, I let them just sit on the market. Like I'm in no rush to buy it. So your buyers are like, dude, they check the news, their portfolios, but I don't know. I wouldn't leave too much on the plate, but remember the whole goal of wholesaling is to minimize your risk and move the properties, and you have to be flexible with the market. So when buyers start getting more flexible with me, I get a little bit more flexible with the sellers. We are in that weird period where sellers, for the most part, still think their properties are worth a fortune.
Yeah.
And do you know
every day
what makes them decide their property's not worth as much? You know who drives it the most?
I don't know.
It's the media, 100%.
Yeah.
So I remember
media was who had them convinced that it was worth $100,000 more than retail price.
Yeah. So so the other wild card factor is hedge funds have definitely been pulling back.
Oh yeah.
But I got to be honest, the hedge funds is a new phenomenon in wholesaling. So they were never really there before, and when they cut back, they were buying a lot of properties, guys, a lot. So just by hedge funds cutting back is leaving a lot of wholesalers in the in a weird spot. And it's like, so because hedge funds, they'll pay a lot more, and that way wholesalers can pay a lot more. Once the hedge funds stop buying, guys, you can't buy properties 90, 85, 90, 95 cents on the dollar and expect to make a profit. You'll actually get killed.
Yeah, so, that's why I kind of, luckily there wasn't ever too many large hedge funds that bought in my market, so I never got in that system of having to depend on them. I was able to build connections with the local flippers and landlords and things like that.
Yeah, I
have seen though like a shift lately. There has been some hedge funds shifting into my market, but they're buying like $30-40 million multifamily complexes, like 50 plus doors.
Yeah,
but It's only
So
because there was a lot of those complexes here that were still individual owned, easy to acquire.
yeah,
So
so it's guys, there's a definite shift because guys, it was so out of control there for about 2 years, year and a half, that something had to give. So the
yeah,
biggest fear, everyone was like, oh my God, the interest rates are going to go so high, nobody's going to be able to afford a mortgage. So if you're under like 250, 300, it's going to cost them more, which means they're going to have to make more. And I think wages are going to go up eventually here. But the reality is, at mortgage rates at 5, like and a quarter, like some people might get back into the game that were like thinking everybody thought real estate prices are going to drop dramatically. So we
yeah.
see high end condos and high end $1 million properties, they're having problems, but anything at the medium price point or below is holding strong in most markets, other than the very small population markets. So it's
See, and it's
that,
it's just like here for me in my market, like the median is like 250. 250 to 300 is about your average like nice single family home. Once you get to that 300 plus, you have a luxury home in my market here. But
yeah.
like the deals that I find, wholesale deals that's priced around like 100, 110, 120, they're gone within a phone call usually. I only have to usually call one person or send it out to a couple people that I know that are looking for that caliber of property, and it's gone instantly.
Yeah. So remember, guys, when I tell you like you try to keep wholesaling simple, like we complicate it, that's why I want you staying at your median price or below, just for this exact scenario. Let me ask you this, Corey. Do you focus on people's motivation before you get into the weeds on numbers and stuff?
Oh yeah, I don't even start talking about price and stuff like that until I know like what kind of time frame are they wanting to sell in. If they're wanting to close within 30, 45 days, okay, they pass that check mark. And if they have some motivation, like I want to know what you saying, I want to know what those pain points are. I want
Yeah.
to know like, are they facing financial hardship? Did a family member just pass away? Do they have code violations on this property? Now, obviously, sometimes I already know these things,
Yeah.
but if they tell me what their motivation is, then I feel like that helps me get a better price. My
So
personal favorite is when they just tell me like, I'm just overwhelmed with the property. I just need out from underneath this property. I
yeah.
just give me the payoff, and so that you're getting a deal right there.
Yeah. So guys, so Corey, how long you been wholesaling now?
Started in January, so I got my first deal in January.
Yeah. So
Started following the course towards the end of November of last year.
yeah. So I'm here to tell you guys, like, I am definitely not the brightest candle in the cake. I'm extremely persistent in what I do. And that's why
Yeah,
I did so well at wholesaling. But I learned the fundamentals. Like, I only deal with people with motivation, because the
yeah,
people that don't have motivation, they just drive you crazy. You wind up being a realtor. And it's just,
yeah,
listen, my wife's a realtor. Like, honestly, realtor is like, don't get mad at me if you're a realtor. I'm just going to tell you how it is, because remember, I own a real estate agency too. So I don't run it in any capacity. I did for 3 years. And the amount of drama that you have to deal with the real estate agents is, for the most part, real estate agents are there to walk people through what the seller thinks is a very difficult transaction. And they do a
yeah,
lot of hand holding, AKA babysitting. We don't do that in wholesaling. Like we
yeah,
just, I'm telling you, I've watched an agent take 100 phone calls from one seller,
yep,
like just and that's why they're all at the closing table, because it's so emotional for them. And I'm just like, if you guys want to get into that field, that's why I frown on anybody getting their license, because you just get sucked in this trap and you're like, oh, I got my
yeah.
license, I'll just go ahead and do it. There's so much more money than wholesaling there's ever going to be in real estate commissions. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. But let me ask you, Corey, do you consider yourself like a slick salesman?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I just
So what?
follow. I just follow the fundamentals. I mean, I
Yeah.
take the advice and the information that's from the course, turn it into action, and literally just follow the steps, follow the scripts, and then I got a system in place for myself that works for me.
That's
But
it, guys.
it all just falls back to the fundamentals. I'm not a salesman. I'm not a real estate agent. When I first started this, I didn't know a single thing about real estate. I'd
So
go
what?
and look at a property. I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah. So remember in the beginning, I told you, it's just the truth. I can take somebody who has no real estate experience, and I actually probably can do much better with them because they have no preconceived notions. So
Yeah.
what did you do before wholesaling?
I worked at a facility that manufactured glass, and then a couple years, the previous years before that, I worked in the oil field
Yeah.
for a
So
service
guys,
company.
I just want you to understand
Blue, straight
regular.
up blue collar worker.
Yeah. And that's, you can make a change anytime you want in your life. People are like, well, I don't have the sales skills. I don't know enough about real estate. Honestly, the less you know, the better you'll do, because this is more about working with people. Would you say?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So you're going to learn to be a psychologist, a welfare worker.
Yeah.
You just got to hear people's problems and just work through them. It's not the end of the world. And honestly, like, so do you feel good about what you do, Corey?
Yeah, 100%. Because I help my sellers out. Like I'm transparent and I'm upfront with them and I'm honest with them. I don't try to play realtor. I
Yeah.
don't try to disclose myself as something that I'm not. I'm transparent. I'm upfront with these people. And at the end of the day, they are in a situation and they have a problem that takes somebody like me to solve.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I haven't had a seller yet come to me and tell me that I've swindled them out of equity or anything like that. They have always thanked me.
Yeah.
And I've had a seller, actually, it was a property I closed about a month and a half ago. She broke down and started crying at me after we finished closing. I went to the closing with this woman just because she was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
She drove like 2 hours away to the closing, and she was just really grateful. And I wanted to be there with her at the time. And she broke down crying on me. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, if you do this the right way, you really are looking out for the interests of these people.
Yeah.
Because
So
other than
guys,
that, the only other option she had was the state was going to seize the property due to unpaid taxes.
yeah.
So
So, and wholesaling is, I was like, oh, which way is the market going? Don't worry about it. Like, stay educated on it and understanding either you're chasing sellers or you're chasing buyers. You're always going to chase sellers down to a point. And the
yeah,
biggest thing you got to do is find their motivation. If they have motivation, then you can deep dive. But the reality is, if I talk to 100 people, 5 or maybe 10 qualify, and out
yeah,
of those 10, 2 or 3 work. So
yeah,
why spend 95% of your time on people that they will literally, they will drive you nuts. And if you do it backwards, you just wear yourself out. If you're trying to find an extra $2,000 in your comp, I promise you're paying too much
no.
for the property.
If you
And
have to dig that deep, then it's not a deal. It's just like I remember when I first started the course. I can't remember if it was you or Zach, but towards the beginning of the course, I remember you guys saying it. Don't make a deal out of something that's not a deal, because you're just going to be wasting your time.
yeah, and that's what you get with realtors
Yeah,
and MLS. And guys, even if you're calling on FSBOs, off Zillows, that's fine. It's a lead source, but make sure there's some sort of motivation. And by the way, getting the highest price or I need money to buy my next house is not motivation. It's not.
well, my
It's
first deal
not a
was a
motivation.
FSBO. That was my first deal. My first deal was a FSBO,
Yeah.
but there was motivation there for me to get that increased discount off of the list price that I needed to get for it to work as a wholesale deal. And
Yeah.
this gentleman's motivation was he was older. He was trying to rehab the house himself. He fell, actually broke his shoulder, his collarbone, and some bones in his arm. And he was just like, I can't fix it. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it let me get that extended discount, and it closed. It was my first deal. But I see, a lot of times I have wholesalers in my market. I don't know if they're virtual, physical, whatever, but I can tell, just by the information they send me and the way they talk, that they may be a little bit newer and they're looking for some help finding a buyer on these deals. And they just lock them up at prices that just don't make sense as a wholesale deal. And I'll admit, I was kind of the same way in the beginning. I would get so excited just over getting somebody on the phone that says, yes, I'm looking to sell, that the entire thought process of qualifying that lead just completely went out the window. You're just so pumped that you finally got a yes, you're going to do a deal. And it's like you just forget everything else, and that's all you focus on. And I wasted a lot of time. But now, if somebody tells me yes, okay, that's fine. I get a bunch of yeses, but not every yes is a deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the point where a lot of people waste a lot of time at.
And sometimes when people tell you no, they do you a big favor.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's the maybes we struggle with in wholesaling, and that goes into like preconditioning. I'm not going over that today, but the guys understand. Just make sure you qualify them first. It will save you so much aggravation. And honestly, if they don't qualify, say, listen, if something changes, give me a call back, or I'll call you back in a month. And that you don't have to get in a fight with them. But when they don't qualify, they're going to fight you the entire way.
Yeah.
And it's like, by the way, motivated sellers do not argue with you. They have questions, they have concerns, they are scared, but they don't I've never had a motivated seller really argue with me. I've had them be confused and concerned, but never argue ever.
Yeah, I've had them ask me, just kind of some validation questions, I guess, so to say, just to make sure that this is a legitimate transaction. But at the end of the day, and there's obviously always some negotiation back and forth on price.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, if they don't feel like they're completely getting gypped, then they're willing to put the pen to paper and sign a contract and close.
they are. So
So
guys, dude, Corey's got less than a year experience, and he went through our course and that, and like he's always reaching out to me. Hey, Rick, I got a deal. And I told Corey once before, like he had a deal, he thought it was a little bit above what he normally does. And what did I tell you? I'm like, Corey, just like assign it. Like it's just another zero on there. Like
that deal's going through.
honestly, yeah, I go, honestly, you don't even need me. Like I would tell you if I brought value, but like give it a shot. And
Yeah.
so how did that work out for you?
So that deal's closing. I got an agent involved on that around here, they are pretty well versed in multifamily.
Yeah.
And they knew an out-of-state buyer. That out-of-state buyer flew in. I was transparent with the sellers. So they knew that there was somebody else coming to the table. And did our inspections. Everything worked out. We got all the contracts in place. The earnest money's in escrow right now.
Okay.
And they're going through the steps. Now, they are financing some of it, which I'm okay with that. I don't know if that's me going or you.
So what do you think you're going to net on that deal roughly?
We'll walk away after the agent's going to make a little bit of commission off the spread on the assignment, but we'll walk away with about 130 grand.
Yeah. The guy started looking at stuff last November and didn't even get acted till like this January. And now he's looking at 130. And how much did you make in your last glass shop? What was your yearly salary?
Up until now, we just closed like 2 deals over the last, since I did the podcast with Zach, but up until that point when I did the podcast, we was at 165,000.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting a little over 180 right now.
Yeah. What were you making in your job before you started wholesaling?
Oh, at my last job, I was making $22 and some change per hour.
Yeah. So guys, I'm just telling you, but like, here's the deal. Corey put in the work. Like, I don't do the work for you. I just share my wisdom. Zach kind of smacks you in the behind, says, hey, you got to get going. And I'm here to the why I got Corey on here is, first of all, and Corey, would you say we have it like Corey's got my phone number, right? He talks to Zach, and we haven't even JV'd a deal together. I just like to deal with people that are really like successful and up and going in the business. So if you guys want to work with me, the best way is go to freewholesaling.com, do that. If you got a deal, you want to JV with me, I'll put it back up on the screen, or you can go to flipwithrick.com. The link's in there. And we're extremely thorough with it now. And I'm getting people paychecks every week. And that, like, they're really happy because A, they trust us, and B, it's a 50-50 split. So I'm not going to put in ridiculous fees, like make it difficult. I just say you got to bring your A game. Like if you're going to scrape Zillows and like MLS, I won't even it's automatically going to get scraped out of there. So guys, I could go on all day with Corey. Like I'm just showing you inspiration. And so Corey's he's going through the journey of like kind of scaling up and doing stuff. But in the beginning, it's easy to get way too much information, try to do way too much. Listen, you just need to get a list, find people's motivation, and meet with sellers. It's really that simple. It's not about comping. It's about finding people's problem and helping them out. And
like when
so many guys,
before I knew how to pull the government list, I just drove for dollars, pinged properties on Google Maps, put it in a spreadsheet, skip trace with True People Search, and cold call with Google Voice, hours per day.
Okay.
And just scale up from there. But yeah, man, I wanted to just check in and kind of see what your thoughts was with the topic I had there.
Yeah, no, listen, the market's always moving, and wholesaling doesn't really matter because if you buy it right and you have enough margin in it, you just make a little bit less money. If like everything's time and circumstance. If I got to move something in like 7 days from start to finish, I got to take the first thing that kind of comes over the bow, it's like, but if I got 30 days, it's like, we're not making as much on our spreads right now, but we're still doing it. So like, we don't stop what we do. We make adjustments and then like, hey, could we get more? And we just kind of factor it in, and you just have to keep testing the waters because it can go up, it can go down. But if you're getting big spreads, so what? If the guy wants to pay $3,000 or $5,000 less, instead of you making 25, you make 20. Like it's still a win if you think about it. And it's,
Yeah. See,
you know,
we're still getting our like assignment fees. They're still giving our ask, but I've had some feedback from some of the buyers lately that say that, you know, instead of say like a 250,000 ARV, they say that they might, you know, feel a little bit more safer counting on a 235 ARV or something like that to say, but our property is so discounted that it's not affecting our ask yet. But that's because we have went back and, you know, changed up our offer price to the seller a little bit to factor in for
well,
that difference.
keep in mind, you only need one buyer.
Right.
And remember, when you guys deal with your buyer, you cannot form relationships with your buyers. You can be respectful and nice, but like you can't be like taking them to lunch and dinner. I did that all. It becomes a problem because they lean on you, and you guys know, like you come friends with them, like, oh, you know, Rick, we went fishing together. I'm like, I stopped doing that because it was costing me money. So
Yeah.
like I'm kind of business oriented, and that I do takeaways when they start trying to lowball me when the markets change.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to let them feel pain because sometimes they're just playing poker with you.
Yeah.
So just test them out, because Corey, even if you turn them down, you can come back to them at the end of the day or tomorrow. Go, listen, I talked to my partner. I'm going to go ahead and make an exception. You bought with us before, but like, this is the last time I'm giving you this much of a discount. When I give you a price, I suggest you take it. That's what I always say to them.
Yeah.
Because you can decline them and go back and go, listen, my partner's making me sell it. So,
Yeah.
okay,
Anyway,
bud.
I like to. Well, I'll let somebody else hop on here. It was good talking
Okay,
to you,
bud.
Rick.
I appreciate it, Corey. So, guys, I want to do business where like we can come friends, we can connect, and that's when it's like really a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
okay, bud. I'll talk to you, man.
All right.
Later. What's up, Jamie?
What's good, Rick? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's like 400 degrees in Florida, man. It is terrible. I went for a run right before I did this thing. I'm surprised I'm even doing this. I'm still sweating. I'm drinking like cold iced tea water. I'm like, it's hot, man. I think it's hot all over the country, though.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico too. It's oh my god, it's extremely hot. And I'm in the cold area. I'm in the really fresh area, and it's still like 99 degrees. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my God. So what can I help you out with, man?
Yeah, so I got three things to say. Shout out to Corey. He's awesome. He's helped me before. I've asked him questions on Facebook. He's really cool. Second, I think the market's going to crash, and you know, nobody knows really, but I think it will. And I guess my question that would be, how would you make them feel pain in terms of follow up? How would you follow up when the market's going down, and like how do you treat that? Like, do you just stop bunches or something? Yeah.
So pain in real estate is, listen, people's real estate prices is 100% attached to their ego. Like, oh, it's this, it's that. The only way you make people truly feel pain is time. That's it. So they go, no, I'll have this thing closed and sold 30 days. And you go, 30 days. Okay. So instead of like insulting them, like, you're crazy, just because that's awesome. I gotta tell you what, I'll check back with you. You know, you seem pretty confident you got the right number. You know, if something changes, you know, let me know. And then I just sit back and I wait. Now, a lot of these problems, like we'll get properties with like major issues, and I know it's going to take a special person to buy that property. It's not going to go like, to sell it on market would be a disaster. Like trash properties, hoarder properties, stuff like that. I'm talking about when those go, well, you know, I'm going to do this and I can sell it for that. I'm just like, sometimes, honestly, you're better off. You just find out, like, how are you coming up with this number? And I just sit back and I ask them, and then they'll give you some ridiculous excuse that you can't overcome. Oh, my neighbor told me in this. I'm like, oh, has your neighbor bought a lot of properties cash? No. Okay. Well, why don't they just go ahead and buy it from you? By the way, guys, if somebody ever says, hey, my neighbor's going to buy the house, let them. They will never, ever buy it. I've done it so many times. I play chicken all the time with it. It's just they're getting FOMO. They're like, okay, well, why would you sell it to him for 80 grand? I'll buy it from you for 85. Okay. Buy it for 85.
Yeah.
You already have a mortgage. Do you have $85,000 cash? Because I do. You don't. And every time they come back to me, every time. So let me ask you, why do you think the market's going to completely crash? And by the way, I don't know if it's going to crash. If I had a crystal ball, I would tell everybody on here right now. So,
Well, I'm my day job. I do marketing. I work with traders on YouTube. I pretty much this,
okay.
And they made millions and millions and millions of dollars just from trading and knowing the fundamentals. I just, I talk a lot with people like that know the real stuff. And plus China specifically, there's trembles right now. We haven't really felt the mortgage crisis that happened last year. That really hasn't gotten here yet. We haven't really felt it. When we do, it's going to be ridiculous. So that's what I'm betting on. I don't know. Maybe it won't.
Oh, you'll have to see what happens. So, like, if anything, the last 2 years has taught me in real estate, people sit there and make predictions. And here's the best part: is influencers, coaches, mentors, they all like to make predictions. And when they're wrong, you know what they do? Instead of just manning up or girling up and saying, I missed that one, they just reforecast again and push it back a year, and they'll do it. You guys know Robert Kiyosaki since 2014 has been calling for a real estate crash.
Oh.
I mean, dude, we're 8 years into it. When's it going to happen? Oh,
Yeah.
but you can buy my coins and my gold coins, guys. If you bought any precious metal in the last 10 years, you got killed. Like it's like a flat curve. It just.
Yeah.
So you look at all these people, it's like he wants the real estate market to crash so he can sell his coins. And it's like, so it's hard to trust what people put out there. So the responsible thing to do is like wholesaling. You're pretty much protected if you do it correctly, because basically we're just selling the contracts. We're not owning the properties. And for that reason, you can hedge the movement. And the other thing is real estate takes time to go down. So you guys, I was in the market, unfortunately, that 2007, 8, you guys realize it took 2 years for the real estate to come down. It was a 2-year painful process. Okay. So real estate's leveled off, but it's come down on the upper price point, but it has not pushed down in the mainstream part of real estate. So people are like, okay, we're halfway through 2022, when's it coming? And that's where people are trying to figure it out. But guys, do not hurt your head trying to think about this. Once you stop trying to figure out where the market goes and just go out and find deals today, and then when the market drops, you just buy it lower and you sell it lower. When the market goes up, we pay more and we sell it for more. That's it. Real estate is not like the stock. It will never drop 30% in a month. It's physically, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would be really, really hard. Stocks can drop 30% in 1 month. And it's like, but even the government has triggers to stop it from doing that. On a certain amount of basis points, they shut down. They did that during the pandemic. So,
yeah.
But okay, let's get to your questions. I want to rip through and help out as many people as I can here.
Okay. So the last one, can you click on that Zillow link and just tell me what you think real quick? I don't know if
which link is it?
I sent it through the private chat.
Okay,
It's a home in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh.
I got it for 165. I've had cash buyers tell me they'll offer 160. Even he told me that the people that went there offer 160, but he doesn't want to sell it for 160. I did 165. I haven't signed it yet, but he's really thinking about it, and I think I have points because he likes me. We really kicked it off, so I don't know. Maybe I'll get it.
What does the house needs? The real question.
It needs carpets in 2 rooms because there were kids before, and a paint job. That's it. The roof is new. There's a bunch of things that are new.
It looks like a good property, but here's where wholesaling, I get a whole spreadsheet of properties just like this. And then the idea is things can look good on paper, but you're doing it virtually, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that becomes the challenge because sometimes you walk in and like yeah, I'm here to tell you in wholesaling, pictures don't always tell the truth. Like pictures don't smell. They don't tell you if the AC is working or the furnace. And sometimes pictures just don't do a house justice. And that's the wild part because if it's what it shows in those pictures, it's probably a decent deal. Try to get a little bit cheaper, but the problem is it might need 30 or 40 grand that you're missing, and that just wipes the whole deal out. And that's the real problem you have. It's the challenge we have in virtual markets, the same deal. We get 6 or 7 properties out on a weekly basis. Unfortunately, like we just get to the point we have people go look at them. So does he have is that property on market?
It's on for sale by owner.
Okay. I don't really call those on market. They're kind of halfway there. So you got to kind of look at them. And why has he not been able to sell it up to this point? How long has he had it how long has he had it available?
I believe around 2 months.
Okay.
He hasn't sold it because he thought he was going to get at least 200, or his bottom price was 180 when we first started talking. Then, we started negotiating and I got it down to 165. And, since the other people are offering 160, he's kind of leaning towards me.
So I'm going to ask you a question. What's his motivation?
He's a landowner. He's sick of, managing it, and he just wants to get rid of it, go into cash, and enjoy his life.
Okay. Well, is he on a home outright cash?
Yep.
Okay. So if that house is in like really good shape and you can't take the wholesale down, consider just offer him a creative solution. And just the thing is, go listen. Tom, are you open to a creative solution? Because if the house is ready and it doesn't need any repairs, you can actually take it over, and it doesn't really. If you buy it at 160, 165, even 170, if he doesn't want like an arm and a leg up front, if you give him like 3 or 5 grand, and then you could either sell that deal to an investor that wants to manage it in that area, and they get a deal with very little money out of their pocket, and they can manage it without going to get a mortgage. So if you gave him 5, you'd want to collect 10 or 15 from whoever wants to take over that unit. And you're like, well, Rick, is that really wholesaling? Yeah, because I would buy a deal like that all day long because I could control a property for 15 grand. And you net 10, he gets 5. And then now the reason he would do that is because sometimes they don't want to pay the taxes, any type of gains on it. But I don't know what his situation is. But save that as a last resort, because the only way those houses work is they got to be in really good shape. If you have to put money into them, it doesn't work. I mean, it does, but it gets really messy. So just because somebody could put that in a renter. What do you think that thing would rent for?
He told me 160 or 1,600, or that's the going rate for that area, at least for research. So
was he renting it beforehand?
Yeah, he's been renting it for 6 years. He hasn't really raised it, and the tenant really doesn't want to go, but they're packing. I saw pictures. Yeah. They're already, they're going. Okay,
remember, just try to get the best price you can. Mm-hmm. And as I said, the problem is someone's going to have to put some eyes on it to make sure. Yeah. If you don't have to put any money into it, you get it, like that could work. But if there's 30 grand hidden in there, which a lot of times they do this to us, especially on virtual deals, it is what it is. Yeah. So if it's on 2 months, he's got a really good price. I'm always second guessing. I'm like, why hasn't he moved this property? Yeah. So I get it. He's tired tired landlords usually indicate the property's worn and beat up. And that's the only thing you got to keep an eye on it, because the buyers are much more picky today. They're not like they were 6 months ago. Yeah. They look at everything now. It's like a pain in the ass. So just look at it and kind of go from there. Unfortunately, on paper, it looks like a deal, but you got to have someone kind of put their eyeballs on it some way, somehow.
Well, if I'm basing it off from the investor that went there, they're willing to do 160. And the guy that, I had another cash buyer that I showed the property to, he told me 162. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong, but, maybe
you're close. You're close. So you're going to have to get a little bit more from your buyers, and you're going to have your seller come down a little bit. That's just, and unfortunately, it might take a little bit of time for him to come to that conclusion. But if the market shifts and more negative news keeps coming out and interest rates rise, he'll probably become much more motivated. But keep in mind, your buyer's price will then come down too. So like you don't make much headway when you do it that way. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Because as markets drop, the buyers, they tend to pay less. And so if you had to wait a month or two, they're like, okay, well, I told you 160, but it's 155 now. They do that stuff all the time to me. So whatever,
So-
you just got to keep working it.
Yeah, that could play into my favor too. Like if a few months pass by, he still hasn't sold it, as paying.
Oh yeah, dude. Like people get like, they get tired of it, man. Like, and honestly, a lot of situations like that wind up getting creative deals because if you don't have to put any repairs into it, and the guy got like $5,000 up front and you paid him like a steady, you go, listen, I'll make sure you get paid every month and you don't have to deal with the tenant headaches. Shoot, I've sold properties I didn't even like I go, hey, it sounds like a great deal. Like I could be a landlord without the landlord headache. And a lot of the older guys will take those types of offers. Remember, that's not a subject too. He just says, hey, are you interested in a creative solution? Like, what do you got in mind? I'm like, what if I could give you like $3,000 up front now? And then I paid you like $1,200 a month. Because remember, if it's renting for $1,600, you got to have some cash flow in between it for you to be able to move that property. And you can either keep it yourself, which I wouldn't advise if you're doing it virtually, or you could just sell it to another. Investors love that stuff, man. Like 15, 20 grand, they can control an entire property. They don't have to go get a loan. And then you just put an exit price of 185 and just tell them to cash out in 3 to 5 years down the road. You get your 10 grand up front, and then you get another 15 in 2 to 3 years down the road. However you want to do it, it works. So I'm just saying, try the wholesaling first. Try to get a little bit less from him and a little bit more from your buyers and see if you can make it work.
All right.
That's what I do.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bud. Have a good one, man. Okay, I'm going to jump over to Jose. You there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Have we talked before?
I jumped on like here and there. It's probably a while back.
Okay.
But I just want to jump on and say, in a way, thank you because I've been following you guys for probably for a year, and so I always heard you talking about probates and just kind of like a lot of information about it. So I decided to just study it and then get into it. So I've been doing it now for quite some time, for a couple months, and I finally closed the deal from a probate lead that
Okay.
and we closed on Friday. And so I just want to say thank you because I know you're always mentioning it, you're always talking about it, and so I finally just jumped on it and read a little bit of all the different, like how the whole process works here I'm in California.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
So tell us a little bit about the deal. Like, just give us a Cliff Note breakdown. I know it's a probate.
Yeah, probate deal. I was able to get in contact kind of like when they filed, and so I reached out to them. It was kind of like a warm call.
Okay, cool.
Hey, are you the owner? And they were like, yeah, I'm the owner. And are you thinking about selling? And they told me yes. And then they ended up telling me like, yeah, we're interested in selling, but it's going through probate. And then that's how I came up, And so I kind of there was 4 siblings, and the petitioner, he lived like 3 hours away, and the other siblings also lived a couple hours away from where I'm at. And so they went along through the probate process, and I just kept following up with them, and I got ghosted a few times, and but I still kept insisting to text messages, and they were like, hey, I have my realtor that's gonna list it, and just kind of a lot of different little things that were going on until the last minute. He sent me a text message. It was like 4 days that he got granted as the administrator, but he also uh, in a pre foreclosure. So he was like 4 days away from going into auction.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess his lawyer, when like a couple of days before,
Uh-huh.
they had the court, and he was granted the administrator. Like the lawyer didn't follow up with him until like 2 days, like a few days later. The seller reached out and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And so he was like, "Yeah, you should already sold it. Um, you're already, you can already do so." And so he was kind of tight in that time crunch.
I got it. So what was your profit on that one?
Well, that one, since it was kind of like, I ended up like, because when he texted me, he said that he needed a purchase agreement along with proof of funds.
Uh-huh.
So because the auction date was like in 2 or 3 days, I ended up like JV here with like a local wholesaler.
That's fine.
And so we partnered up, and we split 12,500.
Hey, dude, that's it. So the key is Jose got like they were motivated. They were in a probate situation, and it sounded like the property was going up for auction. So it's like the perfect scenario. So what are you doing now with wholesaling? Now you got your first deal under your belt.
Yeah, so I actually, this is my this would be, I've been doing it for a year. This is actually like my second deal.
Okay.
But right before I got into probates, I was doing like well, I've been doing like Facebook lead ads. Um,
Okay.
but I'm doing it more like to like the Spanish community. And when I first launched that, I you know I had seen SAG had done a video, or like through an interview or something, and I kind of like learned a little bit of the Facebook ads that way.
Yeah.
And then like 3 months later into it, I got a deal. I got my first deal when I did that. But then like for a whole year, like I was just getting a few leads, but they weren't like really motivated and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I finally jumped over into probate, and then I finally got this deal here, and I have a few different leads, like in probate, but it just takes like a couple months, like the process is not as fast as as
Yeah, I got it. So the key with probate is they don't come like super thick. They trickle in, one here, one there. And the key is you have to consistently do it. And then when you get one, so the next one that comes up, hopefully you'll have a little bit more time, and then you can benefit 100% from it. And then you do that, and then you go and find other ways to find wholesale deals. So like probate will never completely fill you up.
right.
It could fill me up, but like
Yeah.
they're slow. They take time. There's not like you don't get like 100 leads a month, but when you
Right.
get them, usually when they want to work with you, the motivation's high. And if you just know the basic skill sets, how to take it down, you can make tremendous. I've made 6 figures off multiple probate deals on single family homes just because they're like, just take the house. And we come up with a number and it makes it work. So I'm proud of you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop probates, because that's where people mess up the most.
Right.
Consistently just keep marketing to them and do what you do. And then you can go find other avenues to do it. He talks about Facebook ads. I don't really recommend that in the beginning, but if you're comfortable with it, it's fine. It's not my forte.
Yeah.
I
That
don't think it
was
works well in Florida, but
yeah, that was one of the things I kind of wanted to get like your opinion, because I know you guys talk a lot about like government lists, like driving for dollars, but I
yeah.
also have a full-time job, so I'm kind of like, that's why I went more towards like Facebook ads. And since I'm able to kind of communicate in Spanish, so I kind of went a little bit more. Maybe I was thinking like it's a little bit more niche in a way.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that with direct mail. You can do it, habla español in there. I've done that with my cards here in South Florida. It works. I don't speak Spanish, so I got to get people to help me. So luckily one of my employees does. So you can cater to it and do that. I'm not, listen, I know a lot of people do the Facebook ads and stuff. The problem is they do take a lot of energy and time. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
People don't go on Facebook, oh, I'm going to sell my house today. It's a second thought. So the lead to nurture takes a long time in Facebook ads. And you're talking about a guy who ran an agency and spent a lot of money doing this.
Mhm.
That's the problem. With wholesaling, it's even longer. So a regular real estate agent is 12 to 18 months for a Facebook ad, from the time they take it in to the time they actually list the property. Wholesaling, it's even worse.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a job, you gotta hyper respond to them because they're not going to wait 3 hours for you to call them back. So,
Right.
but if it works for you, just do it. Just be careful with it. That's all I'm going to say with that. So
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to like kind of like ask you, like would it be kind of like more effective if I take like that marketing budget that I'm putting into Facebook and work like my code violations list.
I think you'll do much better on like government lists, code violations, tax delinquencies. They're just the motivation's higher. And as the market shifts, once again, I don't know how far south the market will go. It's definitely come off, but time will tell. But remember, in wholesaling, it doesn't really matter, guys. Like people get so obsessed, like you cannot time wholesaling. It doesn't work. I had somebody on the other day, well, I'm going to wait till the market gets to here and then I'm going to jump in. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like I make money today. I'll make money tomorrow and I'll make money the next day. If you wait and go try to time the market, you might as well try the same thing with the stock market. That won't work either. So, the better the motivation, the better the deal you're going to get. The problem with Facebook ads is really,
it's broad, right? It's
you're going to have to go knee deep in the pay per click. And that's big boy budget there. It's 50, 60,000 I've spent on those before. And it's a very long-term commitment and you have to have dedicated employees for it. So I would gear it towards higher motivation lists, code violations. You already know the probates, any of the pre-foreclosures, tax delinquencies, evictions are a good one, and just like go deep into it. So now you got some experience to go out there and do some damage with it. You'll be fine. I'm just not a big Facebook ad guy because everyone's like, oh, the leads are so cheap. Dude, I don't care what a lead costs. Did you get a contract? And that's the problem I have. It's such hit or miss success with like Facebook ads, and Facebook makes it really difficult. Here's a little secret. Facebook does not like wholesalers on there. They hate it. They do not like it. They have changed all the data. Like you do anything cute with it, you're done. And that's the biggest problem. All the Facebook advertisers, they got to get like really cute and nichey. I just don't have that much time to spend like on advertising. You guys got to keep wholesaling simple. Mm-hmm. And the more complicated it gets, the harder your life's going to get. So simplify it. Find things that you can do within your job to chase down these lists. Remember, once you get the list, you can either cold call them, you can mail them, you can text them, you can door knock them, you can reverse driving for dollars. There's a million ways. Just make it work for you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, Jose. Yes.
Okay. Last question. So it is possible to get someone to sign an agreement, even though they're like they just open probate. I think I heard you like
100%. 100%. What state are you in?
California.
Yeah. So I would revert. So remember, there's over 3,500 counties in the United States. I would check with your title company first because I'm sure they close lots of probates, and just understand the formality. Also, you can check your state statutes. They have a section for probate. Find out what the rules are because every county is a little bit different, especially every state. But for the most part, once you have an assigned PR, a personal representative, or an executor, they have the authority to enter into a contract. Okay. Once they enter into a contract with you, you are now at the table. You can't be ignored. If you have to go through a lawyer to do it, the lawyer is going to try to block you as much as they humanly possibly can and try to dismiss you. So I always teach people, don't wait till the probate's over, because when the probate's over, they transfer the deed from the deceased to the heirs. And then the heirs, there's no obstacle then. They just throw it on the market and take the best bid they can get. So remember, we always want an advantage in wholesaling. How do I get an advantage? Get a property before it goes to open market. If you wait for a probate to complete, they don't need you as a wholesaler. Think about it. Like, you don't really solve any problems anymore. The problem is these lawyers sometimes take 6 to 12 months to get probates completed. What better way to get the property sold? The lawyers don't share this information because they don't want the sellers to know it, because they don't feel as valuable and they can't bill as many hours. Sorry, it's the truth. I deal with lawyers all the time. The reality is the court makes an exception to liquidate the asset because they know real estate has, a lot of them have mortgages. You got utilities, people got to mow the lawn, they got to shovel the snow. You got to maintain the property, and it eats into the equity of the estate. So every state has some sort of motion that the lawyer can file with the judge to go ahead and liquidate the asset. Your job is just to get a contract with the PR. Do not complicate it. Leave the rest up to a title company and an attorney. Once you have that contract, then you have control. Without the contract, you have zero control, and a lawyer will yank you all over the world. I always try to go under the lawyer and get in with the seller as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Now, if the attorney wants to review it and stuff, I don't stop it. I'm just telling you, if you can connect with that PR, you can get a really good deal. And if that's what the seller wants, who is it for the attorney to tell them how to liquidate the property, what to sell it for? Usually the attorneys want to get multiple appraisals, BPOs, and then they want to list it with a realtor. Why? Because they get a kickback on all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the seller goes, why didn't you tell me I could sell this property before the probate's over? And the reality is the lawyer wants everything to wait till the very end so they can bill as many hours as possible. So why does a probate cost one person $12,000 and another person $1,200? Because lawyers can get away with it. It's just the truth. Don't hate me if you're a lawyer on here. It's just, it's the truth. So, okay, Jose, I got to help out some other people, man. Get that contract before that probate's over, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay, man. See you. Matthew, you there?
Hey, what's up, Rick?
What's going on, man?
Not much, not much. For sure, man. Man, I've been trying to get on this one-on-one for so long, but I always miss the link.
Well, that's why we got Monday. So,
for
hey,
sure.
by the way, yeah. So it's okay. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm reading comments. I'm a one-man show today. So what's going on? What can I help you out with?
I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for all the work you guys do. Thanks for putting in this time. You guys are always on this. You guys are on point. Man, that's crazy. I don't know how you guys find the energy, but thank you for that.
I actually enjoy it, and I've been doing this so long. And I gotta be honest with you, Zach's the one who kind of pushed me when we started doing this, and then I go, what if we did it this way and that way? And it's kind of neat because you took a young person's perspective and an old man like me. I'm like, well, I know how to do this inside now, and that's why we kind of came up with the free concept. I'm like, nobody else does it. Why don't we just go ahead and do it? And
yeah, man.
And then everybody told us, oh, no one's going to make it. We have I think we have over 1,100 testimonials of people doing deals with us.
It's crazy because I bought a course for $500 right before I got into Flip with Rick and the free wholesale course. I learned more, way 100 times more on the free wholesaling course. I went through it 2 months ago, fully through it. And I learned so much more, and I was like, man, I wasted $500.
I know. Well, the thing is, a lot of people think the more they pay, the better quality product they get. And I find it opposite in wholesaling. Wholesaling, you got to understand, it is a basic concept. We're talking about keeping it simple today. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of the problems I diagnose when I talk to you people is if you skip qualifying them for the motivation, all your problems come out. Because I'll ask you, what's their motivation? And they're like, well, he just wants to sell it. I go, that's what realtors do. We don't do that. You have to have an advantage in wholesaling. That's why we make so much money. The advantage is really simple. They have to be motivated, and it has to be off market. If you don't have a combo of those two things, most of the time you're not going to have a deal. It's not every time, but for the most part, that rule stands hard. If you just get that out of this conversation, I just saved you $5,000 in course fees, because a lot of courses skip that. They're like, we can make a deal work. No, you don't. We don't make deals work. Either the deal works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
If you got to sit there and try to calculate your math, there's a reason I tell you when you walk in with a seller, don't bring a notepad, don't bring a calculator, because it intimidates the heck out of them. So
You gotta
but,
talk like they're kind of like they're your buddy, right? Like you're just trying to help them out.
that's it. So it's like
Yeah.
everybody comes in with like these like, hey, you guys, you don't need like embroidered shirts, any of that crap. It doesn't work. I've tried it all. I got a whole closet full of every company name you could ever imagine. You know what the best name is I represent? Rick Ginn. That's it. Zach goes in. Our acquisitions people, they go in with their name. I can kill any corporation because we can make a decision right there as opposed to like underwriting and go through. So I appreciate it,
personal.
Matthew.
Yeah. I actually had 3 questions if you have time.
God, let's go. Let's go.
All right. So first question is, so I ran into this escrow company because I'm in California and there's independent escrows and there's like independent title, but
Okay.
I ran into this corporate escrow. I know you guys say stay away from corporate, but it's kind of like all I was finding. I ran into some good independent escrow agents, but I was just wondering when they tell you, oh yeah, we gotta disclose that you're gonna be buyer B and there's gonna be a buyer C. I mean a buyer A and buyer B. Like we have to disclose to the seller that you're gonna make this much on the assignment. What do you think about that?
There's no law on that. That's their rules, and they're going to
That's
enforce
their
them on you. It's ridiculous.
Gotcha. So no,
Listen,
don't deal with those.
It's kind of like, how can I do an analogy? That would be like you, like, say you're taking out a girl, it's a first date, you're trying to make a good impression. We're all in that age when we had like that beat up like Toyota car, whatever. Like
I
we
still
weren't
got my
proud
beat
of
up
it.
Toyota.
Yeah. That's like your mom coming out of the house and going, listen, just let you know he drives a piece of crap Toyota, and I got to let you know that. How the heck is that going to affect the date? And that's the problem with title companies. It's like, I don't need it because it has no bearing on it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And so all you want to do is find a title company that won't screw the deal up for you.
Gotcha. I found this guy.
I sat in with a title company right there. They went over it. They spent 15 minutes reviewing my assignment fee, and then they go seller, and then they're like to the seller, "You got a problem with it?" And they're like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." And they went on a 15-minute monologue. By the time I was done there, I had to go out. I had to figure out how to fund it. It cost me $6,000, and I lit that title company up. And I'm like, so I'm just telling you, when title companies want to say, "I've got to disclose," it's already on the HUD. They're legally covered. Once it's on the HUD, they're covered. Okay.
Gotcha.
What you don't want is a title company screaming from the rooftops that, Matthew's making a ton of money. And did you know this? Did he tell you this? Listen, I tell all my sellers, I'm an investor and I'm making a profit when I do that. I might keep the property. I might sell it. All depends on what kind of deal we put together and how much work it needs. Are you okay with that? That's my disclosure, and I'm done. Once you guys go out and get your real estate license and stuff, your disclosures are out of control. And for that reason, I strongly advise not doing it. But remember, they're just an escrow. Like, that's not their job. That's their company policy, because they don't want anybody like questioning them or suing them. And there's no legal ramification for doing that other than, honestly, I think they do it just to piss you off. I've had it happen to me twice, and I made sure I will never, ever refer you a client or anything like that. And then, honestly, I've had other title companies go to the extreme opposite. They do these things called blind HUDs. I'm like, I don't need a blind HUD. A blind HUD, they have 2 separate HUDs. I think that's questionable, but I guess it's up to the title company if they want to do that. And there's some wholesalers, they only want to do blind HUDs. I'm like, you're not going to find many people do a blind HUD. I'm just telling you right now. To me, it's borderline unethical.
God, yeah, it's unethical because you're hiding something.
Okay, next question.
Next question is, so I've been trying to get the government list for code violation.
Okay.
And the LA County, I'm in Los Angeles. LA County is pretty big, so there's like a couple counties. I know it's like I'm trying to do what you guys said. So like keep my eye on the local market, but go virtual as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. LA is definitely the exception county. I'm just going to tell you up front.
Wait, what happened?
LA is a challenging county. It's a big county, and it's just tough on wholesaling. It's just the way the numbers are so big there. So what's your question on it?
My question is, so I went to the county office and I asked them, hey, I'm trying to get this list with code violations in the past. I think I said 6 months. And she was like, "Oh no, you gotta give me a specific address." And I try to be like reasonable and like not bring up FOIA.
Yeah.
But she was like, "We don't have a master list. You gotta give me a specific address, otherwise I can't do it."
Yeah. So let me guess. Do you just guess who has a code violation? That sounds like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you got to just kind of keep killing them with kindness and keep overcoming objections. So you guys don't have a list of all the code. So if you know the name, that means you have a list. So I just need, like, I don't mean to, like, how about A through Z? Can
Yeah.
I get that?
Yeah. Okay. Oh shoot, sorry.
Remember, most people, if you just remember, they have a job and some people like it, some people don't. The more personal you can get when connect them, like wholesaling, like rapport works in every facet of your life, other than your significant other, because it gets abused. If you can connect with them with family photos or like, little icons, they do it and just kill them with kindness, overcome their rejections twice. And they'll usually, I'm not going to say putty in your hands, but you can get what you want.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it looked like the person that was attending me that day was a little stressed out or frustrated. They're kind of hiding from me, but
Tough job because they get a lot of people coming in there and doing it. So did you do it on the phone or in person?
I went to the actual office. I went in person.
There you go. Hey, dude, that's a start. So
Yeah.
remember, how do you overcome resistance?
You keep persistence.
There you go. So just like keep going, man. Just don't stop. Just like be nice and go as far as you can. Like every now and then you can't get through, but obviously they have to have a list because they're the ones who compile it. So
yeah,
I just go, listen, can I just get through A through Z? Or go, I tell you what, let me make this easy. Give me A through like M, and then we'll make sure that works out. And then if that works out, I'll come back and get the rest. You just go, okay, can I get A through D? Just try something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit there. Okay, I'll take all the Smiths, I'll take all the Johnsons. It's like they do the same thing in probate. So just stay with it. And LA is going to be a challenging one. So if you win it should work out well for you.
Okay. And then my last question is, I found this bird dog guy, but he's 16 years old and he's out there in Ponte Vedra Beach out in Florida.
Okay.
And I'm just really trying to help this kid because he said he got into some legal trouble and he needs to pay $15,000. And I put him on game about wholesaling. I was like, bro, flip with Rick. Like, get all the information there, but we could work together too. Like, I know Zach did it when he was like 16, right? So my question would be,
go ahead.
Oh, my question would be like, how can I work with this kid and make sure that everything goes smoothly, like in terms of like the legal stuff?
How'd you connect with him?
I just found him like on a random chat, like on the. Have you ever used like Omigo and stuff like that?
Yeah. So here's my suggestion. He's technically a bird dog. For me to get one good bird dog, and this is the truth, one to three good bird dogs, I need 100. So do not spend all your energy on him because most likely he's going to burn out. I would find one or two simple tasks and see if he does it. So either provide him a list, provide him a list or something like that. I know you want to help the kid out, but like you can't bail it as a bird dog. You can't bail him out like $15,000 in debt. He's going to have to do some other things. I don't know how you get $15,000 in debt at age 16, but
he was telling me he did some crazy stuff, man. He was like driving drunk or something, or he hit a car. I don't know.
I know
something crazy like that.
I don't know. Those type of guys, I either give some type of foreclosure list, or just have them go out and do driving for dollars.
That's what I told him. I said, just go drive for dollars. Give me a list of like 100 properties and let me know how that goes. Told him to go to Jacksonville because he's like right next to Jacksonville.
Yeah, but like, do not over inundate him. Just try to have him point you where there's a motivated seller and see if he's going to follow through. But I'm just here to tell you, 100 bird dogs to get between 1 and 3. So the odds are going to be against you on the bird dog thing. I'm just going to tell you up front.
Gotcha.
I've been through this thing. So just try to help him out. But if he's going to follow instructions and you want to foster that relationship, that's got to be on you. I mean, just try to get some money in his pocket by giving him like a bird dog. So, do you know what a typical bird dog makes when like they find you a deal? Just so you know,
No,
it's usually
I
$1,000
don't.
or less.
$1,000 or less. Okay.
Well, it just
Okay.
did because they
Yeah.
now if and then sometimes bird dogs get confused and they think they're like 50-50 partners. And so you got to be really careful what type of relationship you're going to establish. So I would try to have them get you a list. I've even had bird dogs at one point. They go out and I would pay them per like 50 properties they submitted on the list. And they couldn't be on market or anything like that. You could figure it out real quick. And then I give them some gas money or something like that. And if one hit, I give them $1,000 off each one.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you, Matthew. See you, man. Okay, let's see here. Who have I not helped out? I got Jamie. Okay. Van, you there? Van.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. You
Oh,
there?
okay. I'm so sorry about that.
That's
I was
all right,
freaking out.
man.
I was like, oh no.
What's going on,
hey,
man?
man. It's been a great month. Like, holy cow! I finally got a deal closing from my
Okay.
probate, and they're doing inspections Wednesday, and hopefully it'll be closed within less than 2 weeks.
Awesome. And
Oh my gosh, it's been
how
so
much-
long since I closed the deal, like 9 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm so euphoric right now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome, man. What market is it in?
It's in Lafayette Parish,
Okay.
and
Cool.
it's in Karen Crow. It's a new developing area, but it's still like septic tanks and stuff out there. It's a rural area.
Okay. And what kind of profit you going to make on it?
10,000.
All right, dude. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Oh my god, dude. I'm so. Thank you so much for helping me out with this, and thank you for doing this the live stream at night. Thank you so much.
No, I just want to try to help out as many as I can. So it's a little tough on Thursday, Friday because it's like full, like even before I get in there. So I decided to do this. So it's plus I'm usually on earlier, so a lot of people on the West Coast can connect with me. So
Ooh, very nice, very nice.
what else you got other than doing a great job on that deal?
Okay, so I did arrest records earlier this year and stuff. I had 4 great leads, but I got suspended from the sheriff's office, kind of thing. Like we use this app called Getting Out to speak to the inmates. That's the only way you can connect with them. No one-on-one or anything like that. No in-person interaction. Apparently, I was too aggressive with the inmates. Like I text every single inmate, and then anybody with a property, I text. I'd be like, "Hey, want to sell your house?" The response is like, "How in the world did you know I was in here and stuff?" I'm like, "I looked you up at the arrest records."
Yeah, listen, let me give you a little credit here, dude. I've never even heard of this technique, and I've been doing this 20 years. And dude, I have bought a lot of prisoner properties. Like you can ask that because I freaked them out on a lot of them. But you know what? I tell you what, I'm not going to do it tonight. But call. You're going to have to call back. We'll set up a show where you kind of explain this technique because this is like crazy. Like I'd never even heard of that.
Oh, I follow what you guys told me to do. Just look at the arrest records and.
No, I know how to do the arrest records, but like past. So we do the arrest records. We would always do like mail or we cold call like a relative, and that's how we would kind of connect with them. But other than that, though, I had to set an appointment to go visit the inmate and do it that way. I never. Actually, most of the time I had to, when we met with the inmate, it was really raw. It was like you didn't know which way it was going to go.
Oh yeah, most of them say no. Like it was really bad, but they were monitoring the communications. The sheriff's office was monitoring the communication, so nothing got out of hand. But unfortunately, since I got suspended from talking to the inmates, they suspended my account. I lost so much money in those accounts. But
oh my gosh.
I was trying to talk to the relatives of those inmates. Big no apparently. Because the sheriff's office called me and be like, "Hey, stop what you're doing." Because apparently I was harassing them or something. I wasn't harassing them. I was just asking them. But apparently they told the inmates inside the prison about that. Inmates told the sheriff's office, and I'm like, okay. So
sometimes you push a little hard, but like that's how you figure things out. So you'll navigate through it. You fix it. I mean, you only buy so many properties through arrest records. Like there's
There were 4 great leads. I was so close. So
No, I
close.
know. Like, so
Oh man.
maybe you just got to partner up with someone, open up a different account and figure it out. But it's, that's interesting, man. I've never heard of that. So, I mean, I've done the arrest records. I've done that. When it comes to the inmate, we just have to set up an appointment and do it raw. It's very 50-50 how it goes. Sometimes they don't even meet with you. So that's cool, man. I mean, it sounds like you're out there. You're out there. You're applying what you're doing. Let me ask you: in every deal you talk to someone, they have motivation, right? Uh-oh, I think I lost him. Okay, Malik, you there?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm chilling. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm still sweating here in Florida, man. It's just I got to get out of here in August. I got to get out of here in August, September, man. It's just these are 2 rough months here.
Hey, fishing's pretty good around here. You should come check it out.
Where are you?
Vancouver Island.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You got to be cooler than we are here, dude. So
Yeah, although it's like 35 degrees outside. So
okay. What's going on, man? I know we've talked a few times. What can I help you out with?
I've been cold calling, so I got a potential deal going on right now.
Okay.
I spoke with this guy. He's in Chattanooga, and he's selling this property. I got a verbal commitment for 140 for this property, but it has tenants in there.
Okay.
And I think the numbers work, but if you want to look it up on Zillow, is there a way I can PM you or?
So here's what I do. Like, for simplicity, because I was only going to go an hour and a half today, I'm not going to sit here and do comps because it ties everything up. So all I want to do is focus on the motivation. It's like, because the number is you're going to get a range, and I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know. I promise you, Malik. I'm not going to be able to the comps are the comps. There's nothing I can do. You're going to have a range, and you can work with it. So is your concern with trying to sell it with the tenant in it?
Yeah, basically that's my main concern, not so much the number, but yeah, just like, I don't know.
How long's the tenant in it?
They have been for 8 months.
Okay.
And they're there till July 1st of next year.
Ugh. So the ideal situation is when the tenant's month to month, because you can sell it to the new party, and if they want a victim, they can easily do it, or you can even ask the current seller to go ahead and start the process. So the only problem is you said the lease is good through when?
Till July 1st next year.
So what they do? Just sign like a new lease, or they had like a 2-year lease?
I'm not too sure about that.
Okay, you might want to ask some questions on it just to make sure you're not being lied to.
Right. He just said 8 months. They've been there for 8 months, and they're going till July 1st of next year.
Okay. So you're gonna have to find a landlord that wants the tenant in there, that wants a cash producing property, and so it will limit you because you can't retail it. But is it a single family home, like a multi, or what's going on?
Yeah, single family. I think it's a 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you getting on rents on it?
The rent was, sorry, let me just pull that up. I think you said $1,400 per month.
Okay. And what are you at for a price on it right now, roughly?
He wanted 147. I talked him down to 140. I honestly think his numbers are actually on point. Like, what he's asking for is pretty much on point with my comp with the property. I actually came up with 147. So I talked him down to 140. And I think after repairs, a property across the street sold for 260 after it was fully rehabbed.
Okay, so you're not going to have that chance though, because you have a tenant in there. So
that's right. Yeah.
So you got to be able to package up and sell it based on cash flow. So that roughly gives the investor about a 10% return, which isn't horrible, but it just depends on what that local market is getting. Now, I assume you're at or below the average median price for that market, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I can pull it up.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Is like I said today, I'm not going to comp on purpose, Because
Oh, that's sorry. I missed that part. I just jumped in. I don't
no,
want
but like
time
because
either.
it gets into it is you guys got to find the confidence level to like comp. So
Yeah.
honestly, really great deals. Like you don't have to think twice about comping. As the deal gets tighter, you get more challenges. Your challenge is you have a long-term tenant there, and that does impede some of the cash flow because investors like to buy properties and they usually like to start with new tenants because they want to fix the property up a little bit and raise the rents. So you're
Correct.
not going to have that opportunity. You can't even offer it because it's not legit.
Right.
So you got to find someone that's willing to take it as is. I assume the price point should be pretty attractive for that property.
Yeah, it is. In my honest
just-
opinion, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean to the seller? Are you talking about the price point to this seller should be attractive? Obviously.
For the new buyer. I mean, it's not that expensive of a property.
Sorry for the buyer.
Yeah. So just try to build in some leniency so you got time to move it because that's going to be the challenge.
All right.
Especially doing it virtually.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how do I get somebody?
If the house is vacant, it's like a piece of
Yeah.
cake. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I'd say go for it. Swing the bat. Like that's a home run. The
Right.
tenant, they're a pain in the butt. Like I'm just gonna like because a lot of times when you send the buyer over there, the tenant, like they can screw a deal up just as bad as the title company. They
Mhm.
talk. They need to paint this. It's dirty. The plumbing like sometimes backed up. It's like, dude, just be quiet. Let me sell the property. They'll fix it all after I do it. Like, and that's the challenge, especially virtually, because you can't be there. So you're gonna have to figure out how to overcome that obstacle. If you can overcome that, you should do fine. That's gonna be the challenge you have. Because tenants,
Right.
they don't want the property to sell to anybody, and they will sabotage a deal more than once on you. So just be aware of it. Every time I go to meet with the tenant, they tell me everything that's wrong with the property. So they're going to tell your buyer everything that's wrong with it. So you're going to have to find a way to navigate, find out if they have pets. When they start having
I asked that question. They have pets as well.
Yeah. So you got your work cut out. So just make sure
That's right. It's not my only lead. I got another guy who's wanting to sell a property. That was just one of the two leads that I got. So I just wanted to get your insight. You're the man. So
no, you got it. You just gotta you're gonna have some flexibility on the inspection time, because it's gonna take you a little bit more time to move this property. Every time you have an obstacle on a property, it's gonna cost you time. Throw in pets, throw in a long-term tenant, stuff like that. And it's like, this is not the fun stuff of wholesaling, but we navigate through it. Some are easy, some are hard. So you have everything there. You just got to kind of put the whole thing together, and you're going to have to get really active on the buyers to find if you are in the right price point. Somebody wants to buy it with that current tenant in there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else?
All right. Go, Rick. Yeah. Thanks for your help again. Take care.
Bud, you know where I am, man. Okay, man.
All right.
Okay. Marco, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Rick?
What's up, buddy?
Okay, so I actually just finished off this weekend hanging up around, I'm going to say 50 bandit signs.
Okay. Tell me how it went.
Let's just say I just got my first text from the fire department saying they're going to cite me for it, which is kind of fun. That means they're actually paying attention to it. Somebody is.
So why would the fire department cite you for a bandit sign?
I really don't know, but I do know that they get involved in a lot like code enforcement and stuff like that. Well, around here they do. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you didn't put your cell phone number on it, did you?
I put my my Google Voice one, so it's fine.
Okay. So
yeah,
you know how to navigate through that, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
The best part is actually I've been getting calls. I got 2 calls yesterday and today. I have somebody, an elderly lady that called me today, and she says that she's looking into selling. I don't know much about commercial. So
commercial's just a property that people don't live in. They just use it for business. So it's you got to take the stigma off commercial. And honestly, a lot of common sense in commercial, it's in a way is kind of easier than residential. Like I do it all the time because you just take what the property produces, and you can figure out what the price is. On single family, you got to go buy on the comps.
Okay.
So commercial, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're looking to evaluate a commercial deal, get all the information you can on it. the last 2 years history of rent, and then figure out what her problem is and see if there's any like motivation for them to selling. And the really cool thing about small commercial, that's commercial under $1 million,
Okay.
$2 million really. They're highly flexible in how they sell it. Like they carry a lot of seller financing and notes. That's how they move them all.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's actually telling me that her husband's been thinking about giving it away as a charity because, well, they're already up there. And she's like, why not just sell it? You know, get some cash out of it instead.
Yeah.
And the only thing is this is the problem. She's very private. She's like worried and scared of people like scamming her.
Okay.
Or like just, you know, she also gave me a property. She has a five bedroom, 3-bath house that she was actually mentioning to me.
Okay.
And well, I couldn't do anything with it because she wouldn't give me like any information on it. No address, no pictures. She says she felt comfortable with me and we built good rapport on it, but she says she's very cautious about it right now.
Okay. Well, just spend time with her and work it. But you're a smart guy. You can reverse engineer a lot of this stuff. Like, yeah,
some of this stuff is not a problem. It's just, you think I should just give it time? She's told me to call her in September. I told her.
No, you can't wait till September. Well, we're already in August, but when people talk about giving away a property, I would move faster because someone's going to take advantage of it. So hey, listen, let me see if I can help out with it. See if I can get you some money. And you got to find something with her that'll demonstrate that you can earn her trust, and ask her, how can I earn your trust in me? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because she for sure, like, she was telling me a lot about her personal life. Like, if she's so comfortable with me, you know? I barely talked to her for 20 minutes.
You just need a little bit more time, because if you can build a rapport and get her to connect and trust with you, you can take the time to get that deal done. If she doesn't trust you, she might go with what her husband does. There's a lot of companies out there that will, they'd be happy to take it as a charitable donation. They do it with cars, boats, like you name it. Real estate's one of the biggest thing in churches. So I would find out there, because there's obviously something that there is a motivation there. People just don't give up. They only give properties away that are a problem. And
and
you know what you are? You're a problem solver, and that's what we do in wholesaling. So I wouldn't wait. I would you're going to have to find something that will show you to earn her trust. And I just ask them, you know how you do it? You just ask them, how can I earn your trust?
Yeah.
What would make you feel better?
Okay.
And people sometimes are just like, they ask for weird stuff when I ask for like, how do you earn someone's trust? You do exactly what you say you're going to do. And that's how you're going to earn it. So every time you talk to her, go, listen, can I ask her for something? And she might ask you for something, just keep doing it. But when she says she's going to give it away, you don't have a lot of time, because probably she's going to figure it out by the middle of this month.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And
here's what I say, listen, if you can earn her trust, you got to do that on your own. Say, listen, give me an opportunity to see if we can make this work for you. And that way we can get the property back to its glory days and find something in it for you. But you got to give me that chance. And worst case scenario, at the end of our conversation, I will find a way to help you out with this property, even if I'm not the buyer. Is that fair? And that's how I do it with everybody. Like, you do that for me? Like, yeah. And then but try to tackle one property at a time.
Yeah.
I think you go after the commercial one first, because it's
for sure.
That's a major issue. And then what I would try to do is take her phone number. She called you. Now, you're not telling her this, but it's within your right, because she called you. So she instigated it. I would skip trace her phone number and try to reverse engineer and find out what property she's talking about, and already start trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Yeah.
I get excited with that stuff, man. Like, call me if you need help with that. I'd love to work with you on that one.
Yeah, for sure. And just real quick, on that residential home that she was talking about.
Yeah.
He said that she's a hoarder. Like, she has things accumulated for 43 years. So she says it's in good condition. The home is in good condition, brand new roof, HVAC's good, almost everything's good. I haven't seen the house, so they could be lying, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, hoarder houses are meant for wholesalers, but like, you got to get a good price on them, because they have problems in them that you wouldn't think a house, like, they're usually loaded with rodents.
Yeah.
So pest control can cost you sometimes $2,000 or $3,000 just to get them back.
Okay.
And getting the moisture out of the walls and the crap like that. But listen, you earn her trust and just find out which one you can make headway on first.
Commercial
Kinda
for
go
sure.
after that one. Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you need help, reach out to me. I'm really good on the commercial stuff.
Okay.
I love
for
that
sure.
stuff. When they say they're going to give it away, that
Yeah.
means you're not paying them a lot for that property.
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
telling you right off the bat. So don't make some outrageous offer on the property. Go, listen, either way, I'll help you out with it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And then
Appreciate it.
kind of talked about her pride and if you can get her talking about, if you can find out how long she owned the property and what they were doing it for, but if you can reverse engineer, remember when dealing with wholesaling, if you know the answer to the question before you ask it,
Yeah.
they think you're a genius.
Okay.
Like you just took the extra step to kind of figure out who it is and reverse engineer it. Man, I'd be all over it, dude. You got like 2 potential like decent deals. And how did she reach out to you?
Bandit signs.
Guys, when you ask me if bandit signs work, they only work if you put the effort in it. Everyone's fear is like, oh, I'm going to get busted. The worst case scenario, by the way, code enforcement calls, and I can't do it because I had to sign off on it as a settlement. But code enforcement always call and they like fake it with us.
Yeah.
And my son used to go, like, these code enforcement companies are not very bright. I go, they're not salespeople. They're going to try to trick you for about 20 seconds and then give up. As soon as you start asking them pertinent information, like, listen, it's illegal what you're doing. You can't do it. That's interesting with the fire department. Never heard that one before.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've had the police involved in bandit signs, but never the fire department.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're going to probably start taking the easier ones off.
Yeah.
But
So
I'll
here's
still
what
keep
you
on
want to
putting
do
on.
is try not to piss them off.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to target your signs.
Okay.
And then what I would do is if you start getting problems, I would change the type of sign you put out, the ad copy, and I would change the phone number to throw them off.
Okay. Do you think I should just...
They're a great way to get started in wholesaling because they're cheap, they're effective, and they work.
Yeah, I was just testing them out just to see, and they're working, so it's not bad.
Okay, cool. Okay, bud, you know how to get a hold of me if you want to JV or work with me on.
Yeah, I'll let you know about the commercial.
Okay, awesome, man.
All right,
Good job,
thanks.
Marco. Okay. Ryan, you there? Ryan.
I'm walking to someplace quiet real quick. I'm on a family night bowling and playing games with all my kids, and so I wanted to ask a question.
Go ahead. Save the best for last. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, so I've got a couple properties. One is this older lady. She wants to get out of it. She has a lien of like 47 on it, and it's just a mechanical lien, just for construction. And then she has the mortgage is only like 13, and she had another judgment, but she wanted to get paid out like $30,000. But the problem I'm seeing is the method of payment, because she's on like disability, that she doesn't want to ruin all of that. She's seeing if there's some creative way to involve her daughter's business or something like that.
For her proceeds, right?
Yeah.
Is the property titled in her name?
Yeah.
So here's what I do. Like, you're looking in the right area for the deal. Like, I would talk to a title company and like, don't get into the weeds. Like, if she'll sign off and do whatever she needs to do, but I'm not here. I don't want anybody committing fraud or doing anything you can't. So the real answer is going to be in the title company. And if the title company can't answer for you, it would be a lawyer. There's a million ways to do it. I just don't want you to be the one that institutes any type of like fraud, because she wants to still be able to qualify for. Is she on Social Security or what's she on?
Yeah, she's on like Social Security and disability.
Okay, but
so
is it her? Does she live in the house?
Yeah.
Is it her primary residence?
Yep.
That shouldn't affect her at all. Your proceeds from your primary house has no bearing on anything else. It's tax-free. Okay. It goes to her. I don't think it'll be in effect, but I want you to run it by your title company. Which state are you in?
She's in North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm in Arizona.
I don't think it's going to have a bearing. Because a lot of older people that buy their property for $50,000, they live in it 40, 50 years, and then they get like $700,000-$800,000. Most of that money, if they're married, they get it tax free. But like even $500,000 for one person, like in my state, we can walk away tax free, so it has no bearing. Like I don't report it on a 1099 form; it's not on your taxes. So I think you're fine with that. I don't think she has to go through all that. If she wants, she can fill out a directive and have the money sent like to her daughter, or if you want to get technical with a lawyer, she can quit claim over the property, do stuff like that. But I don't know that she has to do that. So this is a minor obstacle. It's not a major one.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I told her that, I wanted to talk to one of my partners to see about, just to make sure all the ducks were in a row because I didn't want to commit fraud or have her commit fraud.
So I think of it to her personal residence, like she should be fine. If she doesn't want to do it that way, then you can speak to a lawyer and then she can do a quick claim process, and I would work with the title company to do that. And then you probably got to wait like at least 30 or 45 days after she does it so it doesn't look so transparent.
Okay.
But remember, that's on her. That's not your decision to do that. You can't be the one who says, okay, do this. You just give them options. Go, listen, you can talk to this person and figure it out. Just make sure you got enough meat on the bones to do all this for her. But I think you're fine with option one. I just had a lady, she got like $450,000. Like, am I going to lose my Medicare or Social Security? And the lawyer's like, no, that's your money. It's your home. Like, it's tax free. It's protected.
Okay. Hey, for her, is there like the state real estate attorney, or who would you put her in contact with? A title company to see?
I would start with the title company because you might not need an attorney to solve this problem.
Okay.
That's just my thing. And then if she doesn't qualify because of the money she had to do with her daughter-in-law, with her daughters or something, then I bring an attorney in. But like, remember, whenever you bring in an attorney, you risk your deal if you don't have it inked in writing.
Yeah.
Attorneys will strong arm you. Go, I wouldn't go with a wholesaler. That's risky. And so if you don't know the attorney and stuff like that, they can snuff you right out of the deal. So if you go with the attorney one, I would put it under contract first, then let her go fish with the attorney, because attorneys are infamous for ruining deals.
Okay.
That's my suggestion to protect your interest.
And then also to be able to negotiate on these general contractors that put the lien on. Is that something pretty easy to do, to negotiate like a $47,000?
Yeah, you can, but it's you've got to. I mean, it was something. Is it a major company or a small company?
It's a small company. It's a local place. So.
Yeah, find out how old the lien is, and once she puts it under contract with you, then you can talk to them. But you've got to get her to take action to enter in a contract with you, so you can try all these things to help her out. The worst thing you do is try to help her out with all that stuff and give someone a blueprint, and then they'll cut you out every time.
Okay.
You got to get the contract first, and then have her give you a little bit of time to either work with a title company, a lawyer, and negotiate that lien.
Yeah, and she's been great. She's given me 60 to 120 days, whatever I need. So, and she's, because I'm helping her out, she's trying to get up to her daughter to move because she just got diagnosed with cancer. So she wants to cash out and go be with her grandkids. So I want to make sure she's taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, you got a couple avenues to slice this one. I would do all the stuff I just told you, just to have it under contract, and then like negotiating the lien. Honestly, it's just like simple. Hey, listen, I spoke to Mrs. So-and-so. She's concerned about this lien. Like she's thinking about just letting the house go. You know, what would you guys take as like, if I could talk to her daughters to try to like get this squared up, and just shut your mouth, see what they say. That's how I do them all. Like I'm not fancy with them. Like, hey, what would you take?
Okay.
And they're just like, they'll look at it and they'll get back with you, and you can kind of figure it out from there. So.
Okay. Hey, and I've got several, like 2 or 3 other pretty motivated buyers or sellers. And I think I get stuck like analyzing the comps a lot, because I'm like, hey, and there's a good, it's like 50 to 100,000 on the bone. So there's plenty in there. It's just sometimes there's such a range on the ARV that I second guess myself.
You know how
But
you
this-
confirm a comp?
Put it under con, see if there's a buyer.
With a buyer. Because remember, comps are just a suggestion. They're never foolproof, ever. People are weird. So it just gives you a range. And I'm going to sum this up on this because I got to get something to eat. I just keep you're doing everything the right way. It's like, don't get so knee deep in the weeds on the comp because it's not going to make you any more money. You're still going to have to go out and find a buyer and find the most they'll pay for it. And the comps just gives you that gives you 2 endpoints and you go somewhere in the middle this number lies. And then I go, okay, what's my worst case scenario? If I buy it for 200, sell 220, and I'm going to be okay with it. If you are, go for it. If you're dangerously on that edge, don't do it. Like, get a better deal and just try to get a discount and move on. Comps are nothing more than a range. People think the more time you study comps, they're waiting for a new comp to come in to justify it. It's not going to help you. It's just going to confuse you more and more.
Okay.
So that's it. And remember, comps are constantly changing. They never stay the same. They're either going up, they're going down, but you kind of get like a parameter. Once you have that parameter and you go, okay, I know I'll make money worst case scenario, then just go for it and go find the highest amount. In this last year, I thought I was off comps almost $80,000 on one of the last properties we just did. And it was plus 80,000.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, like, you will shock yourself at like what it does. Because the comps, you guys, they are just there for a suggestion. They are not the rule. You just can't pick all the highest comps and ignore the lowest ones and be realistic with those numbers.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Okay, man. It sounds like you are on the path, though. So stay in touch, Ryan. I love what you're doing, man. Keep doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, man. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. So I took care of everybody. So I said an hour and a half. I went 2 hours. I appreciate everybody tuning in here. Do me a favor. Go over to my YouTube channel, Rick Ginn. Click subscribe. Put some comments in there. I'll be back on live Thursday with Zach. And Zach will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, I appreciate you. And I will see you soon. I love talking to you guys. I'll be here every Monday to answer your questions. And I'll see you Thursday.